Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit sun, sextile, or trine one's natal. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve the sun, they can be about creativity, life, action, drive, and focus. Transit sun is making a sextile or trine to one's natal moon. Well, it may manifest in creativity, life, action, and drive, and focus is in harmony with the emotional needs. You can likely very readily take action in matters with your emotional needs, or be able to focus on them with little diversion or distractions. If you have, let's say your moon is in Aquarius, it could be emotional needs may include electronic devices, computers, astrology or astronomy, electronics as some examples. And when you have this transit, it's really it's a time where you could likely be able to focus and put your attention on these things without having many interruptions, if any, at this time. So it is a very good transit. And you're talking about the sun, which is connected with the conscious, the moon is the unconscious, and it is in a harmonious aspect at this time. So the conscious and the unconscious can be working very well and in harmony with each other at this time. And the thing too is, when you look at this transit as well, could also be, keep in mind the moon is connected with the mother and the family, and this is a time where you can readily focus on those things again with little distraction, or take action in these matters. If a family member needs, say, just an errand run, or you're trying to help fix a computer, say you have the natal moon in Virgo in the 11th house, it could simply be defragging, compartmentalizing a computer, as an example, because Virgo is about compartmentalizing, and 11th house, I would say, could be connected with computers. But as another thing to look at too is that, again, the mother and family can be things that you could put your attention, your full focus on with little distraction or diversion at this time. And it could also be a time where this is a period too. The moon is about reactions, responses. So you could react and respond to things that are connected with the biological father, with children, with the dominant male figures, authority figures in your life. These are things where you likely, this is a time where you could readily respond and react to these people, and the reactions will be positive, and with little hesitation or procrastination. And this is something too where the moon is associated with prominent women in one's life, and you may have the motivation and drive as far as matters go with these people at the time of this transit. The right amount of motivation, drive, and energy, and vitality to do these things at this time. And that's also in matters with the mother and the family, family in general as well. This could be time too. When you have this transit, okay, anatomically speaking, the moon is connected with the stomach, the chest, the breast, water retention, and ribs. So if you have any of these issues at this time, this could be a time, again, going back to the focus and the attention, where you could put your attention and focus on this. And may not have to worry about other things at this time. If you're feeling, if any of these, you're having any physical related matters connected with what I just described, that's anatomically connected with the moon, and if you needed, say, some time off from work to deal with it, this could be the time where you likely would be able to do that and get that approval from superiors at this time, more so than usual. And it's also a time too where you have, the sun is about our energy and vitality, being able to do these things that are connected with one's emotional needs and what you feel like doing at this time. If the natal moon is in Scorpio, it could be doing something locksmithing or deep research or investigation, the occult, which includes astrology. Could be recycling, or even matters, with taxes or insurance at this time as well. That could be connected with Scorpio. I wouldn't say those two things really wouldn't be much of an emotional need, but you would maybe have more feeling like doing that at this time, more so than usual. And the thing about this transit too, it's also about, the moon is about our feelings, and this is a time to where the biological father, children, if applicable, dominant male figures in one's life, they could be, more in harmony with what your feelings, and be able to, I guess you could say, maybe not do anything as much as going to cause upsetment or cause bad feelings at this time, and they understand what you feel like doing at this time. I would say there'd be more of an understanding, because when you're talking about sextile and trine aspect, it's a good, basically the aspect is a good relationship that is formed between the sun and the moon, and it can be a time too where at this time as well, the moon is about nurturing and caring, and this is a time where you could express, how you feel, how caring, and also caring for children at this time. And if it's a situation where you've been away for some time and you haven't, been able to put your full attention on these people, on the biological father, on children, it can be a time where you can show more care for them, and more, where you express more feelings toward them readily, and being able to nurture these people at this time more so than usual. And it's interesting because the sun is connected again with the biological father, the moon is associated with the mother, so it's a chance where there could be harmony with these two people at this time. If a situation between the biological father and mother has been saying it right, discordant, or it's been contentious, this could be a time where it might be more harmonious at this time, because again, you're talking about the sun and the moon in good aspect with each other, and it's forming, of course, a positive relationship between these two planets. So anyway, another thing too is that the moon is also connected with who we're close to home with. So it can be a time for having the energy and vitality to do things for those you're close to home with. The sun is about creative energy, and the thing is, if you're doing something of a creative nature, with these people, this is a time to be able to do this again with likely little diversion, a little distraction. If you have the transit sun, say, is in Aquarius, it could be doing something creatively on the computer. It could be some kind of computer, graphic art, as an example. I would say if the transit sun is making a trine, say if the transit sun is in Aquarius, making a trine to one's natal moon in Libra, that would be could be a good example of doing something computer related that's creative, like I stated before, with computer graphic art, because the moon Libra is associated with art, so that it could form a harmonious relationship between each other and work well together. Now anyway, the moon is also connected with the unconscious and subconscious, and the fact is, I was saying before, the sun is connected with the conscious, and these things could be in harmony at this point in time. And the feeling is you might have a strong drive and motivation to do the things that you might be some emotional needs at this time, and also being able maybe to it gives the sun is also about our life, and being able to meet do those things that might be the things that you may need. It could be on an unconscious level, having energy, the right amount of vitality and energy to do this. If the moon is in natal moon is in Gemini, it could be something, could simply be doing a variety of things. It could be something with communications, short journeys, things that require dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics. Hold on a moment, people. And the thing about this, too, is the moon is also connected with our reactions and our responses. And the thing about this is, at this time of this transit, you know, you could be able to respond and react well to the biological father, to children at this time, to dominant male figures at this time, and that is how this transit, could manifest. And also, the moon is about our safety and security. So people that, dominant male figures, the biological father, can be around to provide that safety and security if you need so at this time, would be more likely to be greater propensity for them to do it at this time, more so than usual. So anyway, now it's also this could be a time of a good rapport with the biological and father and children, and as far as being compatible with your unconscious side, which is the moon. Let's say if the natal moon is in Aries, it could be, a pioneering, courageous, and very action-oriented side, as some examples, and you might express unconsciously. And also you might have the right amount of energy, which is the sun, to satisfy the emotional needs, which is the moon. Now let's say, if going back to the natal moon in Gemini as an example, it could be doing things with dexterity, intellectual stimulation, assimilating information, communication in general at this time. And also, too, this could be a time where it could be auspicious for taking action, which is the sun, in home and family matters. Now, let's say, again, going back to, let's say if the natal moon is in Virgo in the 11th house as an example, it could be defragging, compartmentalizing, which is Virgo, your computer, which is the 11th house, and also for the family, which is the moon. Now, it could also be a time where you could easily focus on doing what you feel like doing at this time. Sun is connected with focus, and the moon is associated with what you feel like doing. And let's say if the moon is in Taurus as an example, it could be doing something with gardening, cultivation, art, geology, architecture. Maybe it's something sport connected with endurance, such as like long distance running as another example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.